Hello guys and welcome to Neoisi. My name is Neoisi and in today's videos I'm going to dive into Caitlin McKay's Alebrije Dragon challenge. Caitlin is an artist and YouTuber who is designing dragons from a prompt list that her Discord server is giving her. On May 8th, it was time for the Alebrije Dragon and I decided to take the challenge too. Stay to the end if you want to know more about Caitlin's 100 Dragon challenge. So, before jumping into my process, I'd like to investigate about the topic in hand, so I'm going to make a little summary of what an alebrije is. All started with the Mexican artist Pedro Linares Lopez in 1936. As he was near the end of his days from a fatal disease, he dreamed about a peaceful forest full of colorful creatures that were mixtures of different animals shouting at him, "Alebrije! Alebrije!" After that dream, Pedro recovered himself completely from the illness and started making the creatures he dreamed about with cardboard techniques. As time passed, alebrijes became more and more famous, becoming folk art sculptors in Mexico, becoming part of the culture. So, for my Alebrije Dragon, I decided to mix it with frog arms, snake legs, and a second armadillo head in the tail. I even sketched my ideas in a post-it. It's in Spanish because it's my main language, but I'll translate it to you. There. So, back to the process, right in the inking. What it's amazing about inking any drawing is that you need to be confident about the strokes you are making. And don't get me wrong, you can make mistakes, and there are tricks to fixing them, like liquid paper or white paint. But you have to plan every stroke. It makes a great way to practice, and you don't need any fancy pens for that. Normally, I use the eraser in the whole drawing, but for some reason it always makes the ink fade away. So in this drawing, I decided to erase around the lines. You know, I have no idea what the ink fades away. Do you? Or do you have the same problem? If you can give me any recommendations, tricks, or your opinion on the matter in the comments down below, that would help me a lot. Also, ignore the part where I almost destroyed my drawing by accidentally crumpled the paper. That hurt a lot. Now we are on the alebrije details. Here I took a bold move. I started to draw with no previous sketch and no idea what I wanted. I just looked at some alebrijes pattern from the internet and started making some simple ones into my creature. The only thing I knew was that I wanted a blue and green body. I even got confused, and instead of making triangles every 2 tiles, I draw one in the tile below a triangle. So I just make that triangle into a drop. And this is what I was talking about. Inking makes you think out of the box to solve mistakes. And most of the time, it turns out for the better of the whole drawing. Like Bob Ross said, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. Having a long snake Alebrije Dragon makes the process, well, long, especially having so many details. To be real, this is one of the few, if not the first time, that I do a character with so many details. And don't get me started with the bright colors. This challenge really took me out of my comfort zone, but I really enjoy it. To play with basic forms and bright colors was a new experience. It was frightening, yes, but I just jumped into it. If it looked bad, it just looked bad. At least you got the knowledge of what to do and not to do. You can always make another. But there cannot be a second one if you don't do a first one. For the drops, I was thinking on coloring inside and outside with another color, but the dots got so messy that I used a black pen to shape them. That's why I colored them first and inked them later. It would have been so much faster if I did it all the way around. The other thing I didn't like was that I used orange and pink for the dots and they look really similar colors. It's hard to notice that they are actually two different colors in the drops. In total, this took me around 2 hours to complete. It's actually not of a long time to finish a drawing this complex. But to be fair, I didn't give him shadows or highlights. I tried to experiment with colors and so many patterns that I didn't want the whole thing to be ruined by a mistake. A happy accident. As I tried to shadow the alebrije. It's not like I can make another layer to paint it over. I know. I did say that if I ruin it, I could make another, but actually, I did like how it turned out. So, I want to make another to practice shadowing and lighting on markers having a lot or complex colors on it. Maybe find a tutorial or two. I could make a video trying those tutorials. At the end, I was planning on uploading more types of content to this channel. What are your thoughts on that? I would love to hear you. I'm going to say this. Painting with markers is tricky. The pencil caps can show you a color, but when you paint with them, they're actually different. It also depends on what type of paper are you painting on, that the same color can change slightly between them. I already showed you the example of the orange and pink marker, but another one can be seen in the green aqua color from the tummy. When you compare it to the light blue of the body, they look pretty similar. I felt like the colors merged with one another as the blue was touching the green aqua. So, fun fact, you can realize this is my first time I record a drawing process in traditional because I'm moving the paper off the camera. Marking my camera view should help me avoid that in the future. After working on his thorax, it's time for the crown. I thought it as a feather crown. For this, I decided to paint the segment with yellow and green aqua. I didn't want to use many colors, but to mix them a little. As for the circles, I used the same colors as the drops. I felt like in the whole drawing I was clumsy, but this is the worst part. I painted all over the circles and ended up deforming them. I tried to fix it with a white gel pen. It was a nice fix, if I do say so myself. And we have arrived to the last part of the drawing, painting the body. The idea for this part was to make the body if you just put a texture over it, not following the body of the creature but its own rules. This was inspired by a cartoon series called Chowder. The clothes of every character in this series was a texture. It was a weird design, but I have always found it fascinating how the characters move but not the texture. It was also distracting, but let's get back to the drawing. I don't usually mix colors. I'm still working on learning how. I just try to blend them in the middle as I could in this drawing. I wonder how many times I have said this is my first time or I don't usually do this in this video because I feel like I have done it a lot. I guess this is why I was so hyped to take this challenge because it pushed me to do things I don't do or work with. It's a reason or excuse to try new things and experiment with new ideas. Like, if you're working on a sci-fi story, you don't work with magical creatures. Or if you just work on digital art, you're barely going to pick up a marker. Challenge breaks that, which is not only a breather for you from your comfort zone, but it's also a way to grow as an artist. And there it is, guys! My two-headed sand dragon Alebrije. Yes! Actually, this was really fun. Playing with the bright colors was such a challenge, and I ended up loving how it turned out. I definitely would recommend doing this challenge. In fact, Caitlin is still doing the 100 Dragon Challenge on her channel and featuring the people who participate on the challenge. Want to know more? Go check her channel. She's an amazing artist, and if you like monsters and creatures, she is your gal. You can also check my channel for more content. I am planning on uploading more challenges in the future, so click that subscribe button and hit the like if you enjoyed this video. You can also check more of my art on my Instagram and Twitter. That's on the description down below. And remember, be different, be creative, be yourself. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!